This is Nathan Barnatt, probably one of the most famous individuals you've never heard of. From appearing in popular GIFs, to pulling dangerous stunts, to commercials and TV shows. He's been around for quite some time, and yet, there was one moment where he almost lost everything. This is the story of Nathan Barnatt.
So let's get into this special specifically inside. I think, first and foremost, he is incredibly creative. I was thinking about sitting in a movie theater and watching 8th grade and thinking about how this guy is the same guy who came up with that and was able to direct that, is able to sit in a room by himself and make something look like a movie. You know, and I think that's what YouTube has been and continues to be, is just creator with camera telling a story. But then you layer on top of that music, you know, rhythm, rhyming, writing these like crazy analogies, commentary through. He did this, you know, he has a sock puppet at one time, that kind of rhyming of life. He has
life as they pertain to the internet. I loved how many of his songs followed native internet formats, whether it was the reaction video format that he did or the Twitch streamer section. I thought that was super, super clever. When he made the song about Instagram, it was all formatted like an Instagram post.
Yeah, I mean, he's wildly clever. Like, and the way he edited, like the way he did all of it, it was so good. Like thinking about those projections too. Like he had to like set up the projector to like hit at the right time. There's another song that he did where he has a light behind his back, and he hits it on every like snare, and you're just like, this guy is just a savant.
Yeah,
man. Like he is so unbelievably creative.
Right from the start, he makes it extremely clear that he's the one adjusting the lighting, he's the one adjusting the camera, he's the one making the music. The title card says written, edited, shot, and directed by Burnam, right from the beginning.
And then there's a scene in the opening where you're just watching him set up the cameras right from the get-go, and
a montage of him adjusting and setting things up.
And as a creator, it's a very familiar scene.
Oh yeah, you could cut those moments from a lot of our videos where we're checking our hair or looking at the lens to see what it looks like. Checking our hair or looking at the lens to see what it looks like. Checking our hair or looking at the lens. Checking our hair, checking our hair, checking our hair.
Like, I'm that guy that everyone's seen, but no one knows who they are. It's like, oh, that's that guy. That's that weird bald guy that's always dancing.
Nathan Barnatt is a filmmaker, a stuntman, a dancer, and a content creator here on YouTube. In fact, he's been on here since the dawn of its creation.
My friend Paul, who's a director that I've worked with in the past, he's like one of my oldest best friends from Massachusetts. Then YouTube came out and I loaded a video on his channel in 2005. It was a cartoon that I made called Barricade. And that was my very first upload, like first year of YouTube. And then I started my channel in 2006 because he didn't want to keep loading my videos to his channel. I didn't make a channel because I didn't understand. I actually mailed him a CD too with the QuickTime on it to Massachusetts from California, and he loaded that as my very first video. And then after that, when I had made my channel, I started loading my videos in the Santa Monica Public Library on the computers at the public library because I didn't have a computer with the internet.
After uploading to YouTube for only a month, he found instant success, his first viral video being a clip from a short film he put together called We've All Got Problems.
And it was me on a pogo stick with my brother timing me with a stopwatch, and then I throw the pogo stick and it hits a guy in the face, and it's just kind of like a random moment that I thought worked as a video. So I put that on there just because I was trying to load some of my older things on YouTube, and that got like over 300,000 views in 2006, and I had no audience. There was like no subscribers, and it was crazy to me. I was like, this is insane how many people have watched this. So right away it happened, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna load everything to here. And then I started doing more characters, and I had a lot of characters. I was performing at the Upright Citizens Brigade, so I was always workshopping things, and then everything I did live at the theater, I would then go and film in a video and put it on the internet. And then when it really started taking off was the character I did called Trail Luaus, who was the self-proclaimed spokesperson for Skittles, and he can't even say the brand right. He says Skittles. So he's basically like a crazy guy in a back alley filming himself making commercials for a major company that doesn't need commercials, but he just really likes the candy.
Hey, it's me, it's Trail Luaus. Give me a tasty Skittles dose.
And those got a lot of attention, and Skittles actually made me the spokesperson for Skittles for an entire year. And I got a Skittles vending machine, a boombox. It was a competition for a fan to fly out to LA and be in a commercial with me. They really jumped on board, so that was pretty wild. And then from there, that was like 2008 or something, and then the commercial happened in like 2011. So from there, things just started kind of going crazy, and a lot of the characters I would do would get more attention because there was more people watching.
One of his biggest characters to date being Keith Apicary, a character that he's played so convincingly over the years that some people to this day don't even know that Keith is a completely fictional character. For a long period of time, Nathan preferred staying in character no matter the circumstances, and in some cases he still does. He had many videos on his channel where he would actively interact with the public and celebrities in character, which, not surprisingly, has gotten himself into some trouble by doing it. He's been thrown out of Comic-Con for climbing the building, even shattering his foot after jumping off a 14-foot ledge. Probably a good time to say, please don't do this yourself. Nathan is a working professional and has been doing this for the majority of his life.
Comedy's become something else. We need to use words for funny things that are different than the word comedy. Because the word comedy is such a big tent now, and much of the tent is filled with people who don't want to be funny. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mental health, there's a lot of political things, but very little of it is actually humorous. And I think that's the goal of the people that got into this who weren't funny. Said, well, I don't really want to compete with funny people, but if we get enough people to not be funny and say that it is funny and change the definition of funny, we'll be okay. And Bo is
sort of what Dove is.
Brilliant guy, and he, was one of the pioneers of the internet. He's made movies and everything like that, and he's got a massive fan base, and they all like what he does. And I have no issue with him. I met him one time outside. We would disagree on many things. I spoke about it on the Watch Out Tier episode. I think if we sat down with each other, I don't know how much, I'm sure there'd be some common ground. I just think this whole idea of like, I'm a white guy and I suck is boring as a comedic premise. As a comedic premise to go, hey, I'm a rich white guy, I'm the problem, but I'm also gonna have it both ways by saying like that's his whole thing. He's like self-aware. Like, I need the attention, but I'm calling out that it's bad that I need it. But I need it. But then where do we go from there? It's, where do we go? At a certain point, do you step aside? I don't know. But just that whole idea of like, I'm a white guy, and the last thing anyone needs is another white guy. And the world's fucked, and all these things are wrong with it. And one of the things that's wrong with the world is is that a white guy like me gets a Netflix special. But, and this is the fun, but I am going to do it. And maybe he has that internal war within himself. It's kind of like when Amy Schumer did that movie, I Feel Pretty, about gaining 20 pounds or something. I don't know. I forget what it was about. She hit her head. She thought she was hot. I don't remember. She said something like on Ellen, she goes, I wish a woman of color could have this role. But you played the role. You were paid well, very well, to do the movie. You could have refused it and said, I just don't think another white chick. My problem is with it having it both ways, going, I want to star in the movie, but I also want the social capital of calling out how fucked up it is that I'm in the movie. I want it every which way. Hey guys, it would be like if I started this show every week by going, another white guy talking. It's another white guy running his mouth, just what the world needs. And then just did the hour. Then did it. And then everyone on Twitter was like, dude, he gets it. He gets it. He gets the problem, you know? Just a white guy yammering on. He calls it out. And then he proceeds to talk for an hour, 2 hours a week. Just every show I just started, you know? They're like, well, Burnam, these other things. He goes like, I shouldn't have money. I shouldn't have any of this money.
I should give away my money.
Yeah, I should give away my money. I mean, see, should I start the Patreon every week with a song where I'm like, I can't believe I have this money. I shouldn't have the money that I have. Why are you giving me money? Give it to a family that needs to eat. All right, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show, everybody. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Am I alone in this?
Nathan seemed to be riding at an all-time high and was even starting to make brief appearances in TV shows and commercials, but around 2012, a shift started to take place on the internet. The popularity of Facebook and Instagram kickstarted multiple accounts created by individuals that would dedicate their time to posting compilations of funny videos and images they found entertaining online. Problem is, none of the content they shared would get credit, and because this was a new thing, there were no rules or places to report this content. So these accounts would actively get a way of stealing content from other creators, not giving them any credit, and then making profit off of it too. Due to Nathan's content involving extreme stunts and funny dancing in public, he was one of the biggest targets for this.
When I started making music videos is when things started getting stolen, because bands and DJs and different labels and music labels would take their own music and put it underneath my visuals, and they'd load it to Facebook where no one could really like copyright claim it and grab it. And I started seeing them. People would start tagging me in these videos from bands, and there was one band that it's a DJ that's really big, Afrojack, I think it was, had like 10 million views on a video that was all me, and it was all my filming, all my editing, and these videos would take me a month sometimes to film, and I'm trying to make a living off this, and now these people are taking them, all my work, and loading it to Facebook, and they're getting 10 times more views, and I'm not even getting credited. So they're not even like tagging me, which would be amazing, because then I would go up so many followers and they'd find my original videos and my other work, and it was a real big bummer. And there was a time where my manager and I had an email list. Every time we found one or someone told us about a different video that was stolen, we'd add it to the email list. And there was like 100 different, like some of them are pretty small people with no views, but we added every single one. My videos have been stolen, I swear, more than anybody. And it wasn't even the dance videos, it was just like my physical comedy montages, GIFs of me like falling downstairs. I have these videos called Gymnasty where I'd throw myself around gymnastic studios and just get hurt. People would take that and put music to it. Party Hard is like the GIF, and then it's been used for many different GIFs, but it's a video I did called the No Bones Dance, and actually Fortnite ended up taking it and using it and calling it the Boneless Dance, and even the music is the same from my video. So my stuff started getting stolen a lot, and that started around 2012, and it's still going on today.
While these videos were getting attention from all these other places, Nathan's main channel received the complete opposite. And in 2014, YouTube's algorithm began pushing his channel to the side and started favoring more fresh and upcoming content.
I feel like in 2014 to like 17 is when I was really trying to, I was struggling to like keep my Nathan channel afloat. Like I would put videos out, but no one would see them, no one would get notifications. And I'd make posts, and I'd make posts on Twitter and Instagram, and people would say like, oh, I didn't even know you were uploading still. YouTube didn't tell me. So I was kind of like victim of the algorithm, I guess, of no one knowing I was uploading. And people kept tweeting me saying, when are you going to do a new Trail House video? And I was like, I just did one this week. And they were like, oh, I didn't know. So I was really disheartened with putting effort into my videos and filming them and doing all this work to like not get any views. I was just kind of like, this isn't working. And that I'm an actor, so like I rely on like getting acting work and then making my YouTube videos when I'm not, getting work or there's no auditions. So if there was a point in 2017 where I hadn't booked a job in a while and I had $1,000 left and my rent was $1,500, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I wasn't making anything off of YouTube because no one was watching the videos. And I actually bought a van. I sold my car and I bought a van in anticipation of having to move into it in a couple months because I didn't have enough money to pay for rent anymore, and I didn't know what was going to happen. So, and this was right when I had just filmed a batch of dad videos, and I was editing them, and I thought, well, I'll upload these videos, and I actually thought about how I might have to go to the library to like upload more videos, because I'm always going to film stuff and edit things and load stuff. Even if I was homeless, I would still do it because that's like what I want to do. But I had it all set up so that I could live in my van. And my brother Seth actually lived in a van for a couple of years. Granted, he parked in front of our apartment and would come in, but living in a van wasn't like a weird thing to me because my brother did it and I saw how it could be easy to do if I needed to. So I was fully prepared to move into my van. I had a bed and I had everything ready to go in case I had to move into it.
While coming incredibly close to losing his home and having plans to move into his van, Nathan finally got round to uploading a project he'd been working on for a while.
I wanted to do something different and something that wasn't as comedy driven, but I was also so frustrated with what these people just taking my stuff. I thought it was kind of a good concept for a story where people knew, this is like my audience knew that my stuff was being stolen all the time. It was like something I was always complaining about, and they would help me, tag me and things so I could at least get credit for stuff. So I thought, what a cool way for me to start a story if I said, hey guys, it's still happening. Someone went really far this time and they started deep faking me completely, and they're making a whole series with my face. I thought that would make people really want to watch this series, to keep their eye on it, to be like, whoa, this is actually pretty impressive that they could steal this guy's face, and I want to watch it to see what they're going to do.
The main focus of the project was around a stereotypical American family, quite literally, to the point where most of the characters don't actually have real names and are only referred to as their role in the family. Dad is called dad, daughter is called daughter, mother is called mother, and sometimes wife. The main story behind it all was that Dad was a robot created by the wife, Cheryl, to be her cash cow and make money online to fund her science experiments, because she was the only one out of all of them that was real, that and the neighbor.
Originally, it was going to be just nothing, Nathan had nothing to do with it. It was going to be, Cheryl made these robots to, be this like dancing monkey on YouTube, this like wholesome, appealing, funny guy like a sitcom. Like there's always like the goofy dad, and then there's like the attractive wife, and that's kind of like what they always do in sitcoms. So I was using that mentality where I had my friend Erica, who's like really a pretty woman, and I was like, well, this will be funny. I'll just take the whole sitcom trope and angle and do that. But then I had to add the Nathan thing into the story because everyone was so confused by what my marketing ploy of them stealing my face. So I added Cheryl tried taking Nathan and mind controlling him, and it didn't work. So then she had to make bots that looked a lot like him because Nathan's mind was too strong.
After incorporating more cryptic stuff into the channel, he was then covered by several other YouTubers that talked about strange stuff online, which brought the dad story to a much bigger audience that Nathan was not expecting.
There was more activity on the dad channel with 5,000 subscribers than there was on my Nathan channel with almost 400,000. And then when I started like getting the full videos uploaded, my ad revenue was going up, and I had the Nathan channel and the dad channel now, and it literally saved my life, and I didn't have to move out of the house. So that's dad saved me.
That if you have the opportunity to live without an audience, you should take it.
Yeah.
And when he made 8th grade, he showed us that every kid now grows up with an audience. And that's actually a pretty unnatural way to live. To have to always think about how other people perceive you digitally.
I don't know that there's an opportunity right now to live without happiness. I think that's a very conscious choice that you have to make. Like the default is to live with a audience. The sizes are all, relative and different. Everyone lives with a different size audience. But it's pretty hard to do now in the age of social media to live without an audience.
Sometimes it doesn't matter also how large the audience is that follows you. It's about your perception of the audience.
Is this not transparently absurd to anyone but me? Because on Twitter, everyone's like, it's a masterpiece. And it may be. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't know. And I'm never like a guy that's like, if it's not for me, it's not for anyone. I get it. There's people that love it. And my issue is just that it's a myopic issue there of like just that one thing that really bothers me that he does. Like he does that all the time. And the people on Twitter are like, dude, he's been calling out like how unfair things have been forever. Like he did that song where he goes, I'm an artist, I'm performing in a theater, I need the lights and the attention, and but I could have fed a family of 4 for 4 nights. Well, was that the choice? What? It's not the way the economy works. You're doing a job, and there's other people involved with you doing that job, and have a family of 4 and feed them. Or take the money you're earning and then go do charitable. But like there's this weird disconnect of like people are loving that. They're like, dude, he's fucking woke, man. He gets it. Drew's what's his name? What?
Bo.
Same. Bo's a comrade. He's a comrade on Netflix. What? Am I? Is it okay that I'm confused? Am I allowed to be confused by this? That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying it doesn't have some value. I'm sure it's great or whatever if you like that. And the other thing is it's all mental health. Like all these people are like, it's just finally somebody that's like, like, he's like, he goes, I'm doing this special because he's kept me from wanting to put a gun in my mouth. Why do you want to put a gun in your mouth? Why? That's another problem. I know so many people who should put a gun in their mouth. So many. Many of them I know. So many numbers in my phone that if they texted me and went, give me 5 reasons to not put a gun in my mouth, I wouldn't even have one. I would panic trying to get one reason that they shouldn't put a gun in their mouth. But I don't know. And I know people deal with mental struggles. I get it. But it's just odd to me that people are literally going, this made me feel more insane, and thank you for that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I literally saw that on Twitter.
Somebody went, this made me feel more insane. Thank you. Is that the goal? Does anyone want to get better? Does anyone want to feel better? It's a fair question. Do people struggling with these things want to get better? Am I allowed to ask that? Does anybody feel a need to not have these problems? Or are these problems such a defining aspect of their life that they don't want to give them up? I mean, and listen, I'm happy for his success. He was a brilliant, and still is, but I mean, his early stuff when he was a kid doing those songs, amazing. A lot of his stuff has been really great. The movie 8th Grade, again, it was a really good movie. He did what, he really captured the anxiety of being a teenager. It was good movies. Yeah. All of it's very solid. I'm just confused.
Who he is, making a comedy special and healing the world through comedy, right? This kind of self-awareness of this is a ridiculous thing. Am I providing value or not to the world? I have no idea. Almost this sense of I know it's ridiculous that I'm making comedy right now. Is this helpful at all?
He kind of hits different parts of the world and touches on how the internet has impacted those parts of society in a negative way. Checking our hair.
It's exactly what he's talking about, why the internet is bad. He's doing a thing for the internet, for other people to watch. And there's a couple things that stuck out to me. There's one song in there that was about the internet. And it was the main line was can I interest you in anything and everything all of the time? It's an amazing song. Could I interest you in everything all of the time?
I'm just confused. I mean, am I gone wrong by not starting the show with a song about, I need the attention. I need you to listen to me for an hour. I should be delivering a migrant woman's baby, but I'm not. What? I could be delivering babies in Palestine, but I'm not. He's so deep. And then I just go on about the thing. Then I just go and do the show. Yeah, everyone, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. But just remember, I'm a white guy running my mouth for money which I don't deserve. But I could be doing other things. I should be doing other things, like throwing bombs at the police headquarters in Minneapolis. I should be doing that, but I'm not. It's okay, sure.
The way he did it was almost like he was a genie, it reminded me of an Aladdin type song, a musical where it was...
He saw the rise of the internet like we did. So we're part of this before and after generation that knew what it was like to live through that boredom and to find things to do and to find ways to be creative without the internet.
Also, it's he's I'm doing it in a room. It's can you do it somewhere else? I know that's the genius of it. that everyone was stuck inside. I wasn't stuck inside. I performed throughout the majority of the pandemic. And I know people will look at me, I guess, as some heartless demon. I was at as much a risk as anyone. I chose not to stay inside because, number one, I knew my mental health would decline worse than if I died. And knowing that Netflix was like, can you do something in your room? We were doing a lot of shit in our room, making sketches, podcasting. We were doing comedy about all the fucked up shit that was going on. There's something weird about comedy, where somebody's like, can I be a comedian when everything's fucked up? Yes, do it.
It gives him purpose.
He has an irrational fear of the physical world, which I think a lot of people do have because it's a lot more comfortable to move throughout the internet sometimes and curate your image, curate how you spend your time while no one else really sees how you're truly spending your time.
Especially if you're 100%, especially if you're a creator and you have that power to edit. You have that power to create a life using the keys and using the creativity. What happens when you have to actually go live that life?
Maybe I should call Netflix about. I have an idea for a special. I'm in my room. I don't leave my room. And I'm beaten by black lesbians. I mean beaten bloody. Beaten bloody. I read the Bill of Rights while I'm being beaten to a pulp because the Bill of Rights did not include everybody, and I know that. But I'm reading it as I'm being beaten, and there's music. Is that that's a good idea?
The line I wrote down right after that was, what happens if we stop living on the internet? What happens if we stop
checking our hair?
What about a Netflix special where I'm in my car? I'm just in my car. And it's an expensive car. And I just talk about that I shouldn't have it for the hour. And I show everybody everything in it that I don't need. Like we pop open the hood and I say, this is a V8, but I don't need it. And then I show them all the bullshit things in it that half of them work. And I go, don't need this either. Just another white guy with a car. Fuck me. Fuck me. I wish somebody would pull me out of here and kill me. So woke, dude. He gets it. This guy gets it. Hey, whatever makes you happy.
spaces, quote unquote, that I interact with is much more vast online than it is physically. Right? Like how many different YouTube channels you go to, or websites, or the different spaces you see online, much more significant than what we see in real life. And to tap onto that, we're older, the younger generation, and next week we're releasing a video about Roblox. But the younger generations live in spaces online, whether it's through gaming, through Roblox, through through social, through TikTok. Like they don't know a world without the internet. They were born and it was just like, this is in your hand and this is the world you live in.
This is where you build valuable relationships.
Yeah, and where you build value. Like, this is how you get a job and how you make money. Like, we have not ever had a career that's not attached to the internet.
And socially, our comfort level for interaction is within that internet world. I think that's one of the most fascinating things about the special is that it takes place in this one single room where he is eating there, he is working out there. He's doing everything within that room because of the pandemic and because of this project he's undertaken, but it doesn't feel that strange. Truly, the scenes are very recognizable. Right.
He did this too many times. All his hair is left.
All right, y'all, we're back with the legendary Simon Cowell. That was a clip from the new season of America's Got Talent. So what is happening this season?
Well, it was very interesting because, you know, we're doing this, well, you know, you're doing it post-COVID.
Yeah.
So, you know, what was it going to be like? So there was a whole logistical issue. But what was amazing, that pretty much everyone who came on the show this year came with a really, really positive kind of like attitude. You know, it was almost like, yeah, we've gone through like a really, really bad year.
Yeah.